On a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Chicago, Don Zimmer and his Cubs, who have won 5 games in a row, are hosting the San Francisco Giants at Wrigley Field. We pick up action in the top of the first, no score. 2 outs, runners at first and third. National League RBI leader Matt Williams at bat against Chicago rookie starter Mike Harkey. And Williams hits a line drive single into right center field. Rick Leach scores from third base, and that gives the San Francisco Giants a quick 1-0 lead over the Cubs. RBI number 79 for Matt Williams. Mike Harkey would keep the Cubs in this ball game. He would throw a complete game 9 hitter. He allowed 2 runs, both of them earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Here in the top of the third, he gets revenge on Matt Williams for his first strikeout of the game to end the inning. And if you ever wondered how stars like Will Clark stay sharp and healthy, well, they make time to floss their teeth every day. In the bottom of the sixth, San Francisco still leading 1-0. Ryan Sandberg at bat, and he leads off the bottom of the sixth with a solo home run to left field off of San Francisco starter Scott Garrelts, and this ties the game up at 1-all. For Ryan Sandberg, that's home run number 25 and RBI number 61 on the season. On to the top of the eighth with 2 outs, runners at first and second. Terry Kennedy at bat for the Giants, and he'll hit an RBI double down the right field line off of Harkey, and that drives in Kevin Mitchell from second base, and the Giants regain the lead at 2-1. RBI number 16 on the season for Terry Kennedy. In the bottom of the eighth with 1 out, runners at first and second. Jeff Brantley on in relief of Scott Garrelts, who pitched a solid 7 1/3 innings and left with that 2-1 lead. He's facing his second batter, Luis Salazar, and he balks home. Doug DeCenzo from third base. That's Brantley's second balk in 2 days against the Cubs, and that ties the game up at 2-all. 1 out later in the bottom of the eighth, runners at first and second. Joe Girardi against Steve Bedrosian. Girardi hits a ground ball to Giant shortstop Jose Uribe, who commits his second error of the game, and that error allows Marvell Wynn to score from second base, and the Cubs now lead 3-2. That 3-2 lead would hold up for Chicago as Mike Harkey would get Brett Butler to ground out to shortstop to end the ballgame. Cubs win by the final 3-2. Winning pitcher is Mike Harkey. He throws his first career complete game. He is now 8-4. Losing pitcher is Jeff Brantley. His record falls to 3-3. The Cubs have now won 6 in a row.
Saturday afternoon in Oakland, Mickey Mouse was on hand to throw out the first pitch, but the Oakland Athletics lost their second straight game to the Toronto Blue Jays, this time in a pitcher's duel by a final of 2-1. Scott Sanderson was a hard luck loser despite retiring the first 12 batters he faced. Here in the top of the second inning, he strikes out Fred McGriff with a nice forkball. Dave Stieb also pitched well as he went 8 innings, allowing only 5 hits and 1 run. Here in the bottom of the second inning, he shows some nice reflexes by grabbing the line drive up the middle off the bat of Walt Weiss, a fine play by Dave Stieb. Scott Sanderson allowed only 3 hits, but unfortunately for him, 2 of them were hit out of the park. After retiring the first 12 batters, he gave up a solo home run to George Bell leading off the top of the 5th inning. Bell's 18th home run was just over the glove of a leaping Doug Jennings in left field. It was Bell's first home run since June 24th. Doug Jennings a bit frustrated as he slams the wall and covers his face. We'll take another look at the nice try by Jennings, but he can't get it. That gave Toronto a 1-0 lead in the top of the 5th inning. It was a beautiful day in Oakland on Saturday afternoon, and before the game they held Family Day, as there was all kinds of festivities going on in the field. Players such as Terry Steinbeck and Bob Welch showing their little kids around out on the field. Even Roger Rabbit was on hand in the festivities along with Mickey Mouse and other Disney characters. In the top of the 6th inning, Pat Borders would give Toronto a 2-0 lead as he connects off Sanderson for a line shot to left field that goes over the fence. His 11th home run in the year. That gave Toronto a 2-0 lead in the top of the 6th inning. 2 solo home runs were 2 of 3 hits Toronto had in the game. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Jose Canseco lofted a fly ball to right center field. Mookie Wilson lost it in the sun, and Doug Jennings would score on the play. That would be Oakland's only run of the game as Canseco got an RBI with a gift double. Even he was a bit surprised at how bright the sun was in Oakland. Dave Stieb would get out of the jam in the bottom of the 8th inning by striking out Felix Jose with Jose Canseco on second base. That would be the last batter Stieb would face as he went 8 innings, allowing 5 hits and improved his record to 12-3 on the season. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Tom Henke allowed 2 runners on base, but he would get out of the jam by striking out Doug Jennings to end the game. He picked up his 19th save on the year. Toronto wins it 2-1. Stieb is 12-3. Scott Sanderson fell to 11-6.
Saturday night in Pittsburgh, Juan Samuels in the starting lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Last night, he and Alfredo Griffin, who was not in the lineup, were charged with assault and spent early morning in jail. The two had a fight with a bartender in a Pittsburgh nightclub. There in the second inning, you saw Sam Wells striking out at the hand of Pittsburgh starter Neil Heaton. In the first inning, Heaton balked, allowing Javier to score, making the score 1-0 Dodgers. The Dodgers then added another run on a sacrifice fly to give them a 2-0 lead in the first inning. Meanwhile, Tim Belcher was shutting down the Pirates. Here in the first inning, he strikes out R.J. Reynolds. The game really settled into a pitcher's duel then. Here in the top of the fourth inning, we'll see Heaton striking out U.B. Brooks on a check swing with the appeal to the first base umpire. Heaton, however, was removed from the game for a pinch hitter in the bottom of the sixth. Here's the pinch hitter, Orlando Merced, and he grounded into a 1-6-3 double play to end the sixth inning with the score still at 2-0 Dodgers. In the top of the eighth inning, Juan Samuel came to the plate and gave the Dodgers some insurance runs as he had a 2-run home run to left field, his 7th home run of the season. Dempsey was on board for this. It gave Samuel 24 RBIs for the year, and it made the score 4-0 Los Angeles. Then in the top of the ninth, Samuel came through again, having a much better night than he had last night, as he hits a ground ball single through short that scores Eddie Murray, making it 5-0 Dodgers. Then Jose Vizcaino hit a hard ground ball single off the foot of Bill Landrum. Landrum kicks it up in the air. U.B. Brooks comes in to score, and that made the score 6-0 Dodgers, and that turned out to be the final. This single by Jay Bell in the bottom of the fourth inning was the only hit that Tim Belcher allowed in the game. Bell was thrown out stealing, so Belcher was able to face the minimum 27 batters in the game. Here in the bottom of the ninth, he strikes out Wally Backman to end it. The final 6-0 Dodgers. Belcher is now 8-7. The loser, Heaton, is 10-6.
Saturday night in Baltimore, Ben McDonald, the #1 pick in last year's June draft, made his first major league start, and it was a great one as he had a complete game 4-hit shutout. In the bottom of the first inning, a very strange play as Jack McDowell's pitch hits Phil Bradley in the brim of the helmet, then bounces and hits home plate umpire Durwood Merrill right on the top of the head. Not very often you see two players get knocked down with one pitch, but here Merrill takes one right off the top of the skull. But he was okay and stayed in the game, although he was a bit shaken up. Bradley went to first base on the hit by pitch. No score until the bottom of the second inning when the Orioles would score the only 2 runs of the game. Bailey Ripken got some signs from his father for the hit and run, and he came through with a single up the middle. Tim Hewlett came in to score, and the Orioles led it 1-0 on Ripken's 18th RBI in the year. Later in the inning, after Billy Ripken was caught stealing, it would be Joe Orsolak coming through with 2 outs with his 43rd RBI in the year. A double down the right field line, scoring Bob Melvin. That made it 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning, and that was it for the scoring as Ben McDonald and Jack McDowell pitched outstanding. Here in the top of the sixth inning, McDonald strikes out Ivan Calderon to end the inning. He had 5 strikeouts on the game and walked only 1. He went the distance, allowing only 4 hits to get his first victory on the season. Jack McDowell was also outstanding as he retired the last 14 batters he faced and allowed only 5 hits. He also struck out 10 batters, a career high for him. There he strikes out Bob Melvin in the bottom of the 6th. Then in the bottom of the 8th inning, he gets Mickey Tettleton for the 4th time in the game. But he would take the loss in this game as the fans were on their feet for rookie sensation Ben McDonald. McDonald would get Ivan Calderon on a comebacker to end the game, completing the complete game shutout. He gets his first victory on the year. He is 1-0. He retired the last 16 batters he faced to pick up the victory. He's very psyched about that as the Orioles win it by a final of 2-0. Jack McDowell, the hard luck loser, allowed only 5 hits, but he fell to 5-5 on the season.
Saturday night in Minnesota, Kirby Puckett and the Minnesota Twins are hosting the New York Yankees. And here in the bottom of the first inning, Puckett hits a drive to right field that is caught by Jesse Barfield. The run comes in to score. That's Shane Mack coming in to score, I believe. But Al Newman is nailed at second base on a nice throw from Barfield. So the score was 1-0 Minnesota. Mark Guthrie was cruising along here. He strikes out Roberto Kelly in the top of the third inning. Jeff Robinson was also pitching well. Here we'll see him in the bottom of the third inning as he does something, I'm not sure what, and we'll see right here. He strikes somebody out. Then, in the bottom of the fourth inning, Gary Gaetti will hit a ground ball to second base, and on the failed attempted double play, Puckett comes in to score, and that makes the score 2-0 Minnesota. Then in the top of the sixth inning, we'll see Gaetti making a nice defensive play. After we get a look at a young fan in the crowd, Roberto Kelly hits a hard ground ball down the third baseline. Gaetti makes a nice play and a great throw to get him. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Jesse Barfield recovers on a Kirby Puckett drive, and he makes this catch on his knees. Falling down, he makes a nice catch. In the top of the 8th inning, Alvaro Espinosa hit an inside-the-park home run. It's a near great play here by Shane Mack, but he doesn't quite come up with it, and Espinosa goes all the way around the bases for his second home run of the season. That made the score 2-1, but Minnesota won by that final. The winner, Guthrie, is 3-2. The loser, Robinson, 2-6, while Aguilera picks up his 23rd save.